Hold your fire.
Hey guys, I wanted to give you a little bit of extra info about how the fire was put out and that whole rescue situation from the interview with Chad and Stacey, which I'll play in full in a moment. But I originally left the Kombi with Chad and Stacey at their house in Haynes when I went off to sort out my visa and also to find a new transmission. However, as you might remember, that visa saga took way longer than expected. Actually, so much longer that Chad and Stacey moved out of their property and were living in a house about 10 miles away in the centre of Haynes. So they actually moved house about 2 weeks before we returned to Alaska, and it was at that point that the tarp was removed and the Kombi was stored at their neighbour's house. When that tarp was removed, the solar panel was activated for the first time since we had left the Kombi, and that basically started to overheat the battery. Technically, the panel should have been able to trickle charge the battery and not overcharge it, but something obviously went wrong. Very wrong. So this is the unedited story from the Clark family of their rescue, who, by the way, we don't blame for 1 second for this problem, and in fact we consider heroes of the Ask Alaska project. When they found out about the fire, Chad actually drove over 10 miles to the Kombi to put out the fire. That's not in the main video, but it's pretty amazing that he did that.
All right, will you start?
Okay, well, a week after we took the winter tarp off the Kombi, we were at home in our apartment in town making dinner, and we had stored the Kombi at a neighbor's house. It was a beautiful sunshiny day, and the guy whose house we were storing at, he's in Florida, and he called us from Florida and said, "Are your friends back? Somebody's making dinner in the Kombi." And I said, "No, our friends aren't back, and there shouldn't be anybody there." I looked at my husband and said, "You need to get out there, go check on the Kombi." So you got in the car with the girls.
So I got in the car expecting to show up and find somebody just camping out in the Kombi and cooking ramen noodles. So when we pulled up, I immediately noticed that all the glass, all the windows were amber tinted, and I had seen that before. So pulled up short and stopped our van, and the girls said, "Hey, can we get out?" And I said, "No." So I jumped out and ran around and felt all the glass, and it was cool to the touch, but there was smoke coming out of the front door jambs. So I opened the bay doors on the side just enough for the smoke to roll out and to see the embers starting to reignite inside. So I shut the doors and went to my van to get a fire extinguisher. And that's when the girls grabbed an old cell phone that we had in the van, and
Good job.
so yeah. Yeah,
And took pictures,
yeah, so they grabbed the cell phone, and about the time I grabbed the fire extinguisher and opened the doors to put out the embers inside, they started snapping pictures. And so when I opened the doors, the fire started to reignite. The seat was covered in embers, and it looked like the fire had just choked itself out and was starving for air. So when I opened the doors, it started to reignite, and put it out with the fire extinguisher, and then had to just start ripping the interior apart to dig down to the source of the fire to make sure that nothing under the seat was still catching. So
The neighbor lady thought that somebody was in there cooking dinner. She said she heard the doors rattling, thought she heard pots and pans, and saw some smoke. But
You could smell it
nobody
too.
was cooking dinner. The Kombi had caught fire.
Yeah, that would have been better if somebody had cooked dinner in it.
Yeah. What do you girls think?
It smelled.
Yeah,
That's
awful,
what you
awful,
mostly came home
awful.
talking about, was the smell.
Gagging and
yeah,
awful smoky. It was really bad.
the smell of burning foam,
Mm-hmm.
burning seats.
Yeah, must have been quite exciting seeing your dad with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of was.
Yeah. Sort of. Two. Didn't he empty 2 fire extinguishers in
Yes,
there?
he did.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Big hole in the middle of the seat.
Yeah.
The battery was in.
Yeah.
Right through.
Yeah, I've got to say though, Chad, seriously, thank you for putting the fire out. Like,
We just wish it never happened.
no, I know, but like if you hadn't been here and to go and come out and put it out, there wouldn't be a Kombi left for me to fix up. So,
Fix the trim,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just really grateful for everything you've done for me over winter. And
Well, it's got miles left in it. It's just going to take some work to get them out.
yeah, that's the thing with this Kombi. It's always taking work. It's it's an attention-seeking Volkswagen.
In Alaska, just go hike up that huge white hill full of snow, Ben. Get a shot from up there. I think it'll look real good. All right, that seems like a great idea. We just run up that hill in the snow in Alaska, top of that hill.
Shit, here comes the... At this point, Brett is finding a safe place to turn the Kombi around on this deserted pass on the way back from Haynes. We were really fighting daylight now as the sun is starting to fall below the mountains. This shot probably took around 10 to 15 minutes to film, and it was used for 3.19 seconds in the final project. And that, amigos, is fairly typical for Astor Alaska Productions. Unfortunately, our camera was in the wrong setting for much of the filming that we were doing for this episode, so we had a huge overexposure problem which we tried to fix in post-production with colour correction. Unfortunately, this is one of the problems of having dirty hands and being the cleanup crew and the film crew all at the same time. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you didn't notice because the story was so good, right?
This is what it's been like cleaning the Kombi, like the whole time. This is honestly, this is a genuine representation of the cleaning process. We try to stay together at all times. It's team building, you know.